Okay, guys, I'm here to give my review of this week's Monday Night Raw for August the 8th, 2016. Uh, this show, uh, was kind of boring to be quite honest. Uh, I mean, it had some good things in it, but it got to the point where Raw used to be, the kind of boring where it just drug on for way too long, you just wish it would get over. But it was just a boring show, and sometimes boring isn't necessarily good or bad. It's just somewhere in between, kinda. So we started off our second week in all of the Enzo Amore segment with him and Cass, and they do their spiel about how Jericho kinda interrupted Enzo's, I guess, mojo at Sasha Banks or whatever, and Jericho and Kevin Owens came out and they had back and forth banter with each other, which is very funny banter. All four of these guys are really good on a microphone. Uh, and that led to a match between Enzo and Jericho. Now, why this match went 15 minutes, I have no idea. Uh, or more than that. And eventually, Kevin Owens grabs Enzo's leg, and then Cass comes in and kicks Jericho in the face, which gets Enzo disqualified. So Jericho wins by DQ, and then Enzo and Cass challenge Jericho and Owens to a match at SummerSlam, which should be a very interesting tag match. Braun Strowman was back for his weekly Jobber Squash, and this time, for some bizarre reason, the Jobber got an entrance. Yeah, the Jobber got an entrance. I don't know why the Jobber gets an entrance, and two other guys later didn't. Uh, and he didn't even cut a small promo like the other two did. But same result. Sorry. Uh, Same result. The Braun Strowman hit that reverse chokeslam and beat this jobber. Uh, Sasha Banks and Mick Foley went in Mick Foley's office to say that it's not going to be one-on-one of her and Dana with her and Charlotte sometimes because of Dana Brooke, and actually for some reason requests a handicap match with Dana Brooke and Charlotte. Now Mick Foley then makes Sasha Banks versus Dana Brooke, and if Sasha wins, Dana gets banned from ringside. Going to Mick Foley just made that without having a match. I don't know. There was some more stuff with the Golden Truth, and instead of playing Pokemon Go, now they're hanging around a Scooby-Doo to promote the new Scooby-Doo movie. SmackDown had a segment like this too, and it was kind of the worst thing that happened on that show too. Uh, so yeah, there was that. Uh, you know, the match. Seth Rollins cut a promo. Him and Finn Balor had two individual promos. Seth went first. It was a live promo. And it went a little long. Seth's getting into the really long promo department, which probably doesn't bode well here. Uh, he basically said that Finn Balor isn't Finn Balor's real name, which it's not, but he never said that Seth Rollins isn't his real name, which it's not. It's a stage name too. But he also said that maybe Seth should change his name to Rambo Apocalypse. That's an interesting name, if I do say so. And he basically said at SummerSlam he will be the first Universal Champion and all that stuff. There was a tag match with the Dudleys taking on Neville and the mystery partner, and his mystery partner, of all reasons, is Sin Cara. And Neville and Sin Cara win, and it looked like they were showing a little bit of dissension between the Dudleys. So maybe it's going to mean that Bubba can get one final run as Bully Ray in the WWE. Who really knows? Sasha Banks, of course, had her match with Dana Brooke. Sasha won and got Dana barred from ringside, so it will be 1-1 her and Charlotte at SummerSlam. Cesaro and Sheamus had a rematch again. In which Cesaro won again, because now Mick Foley wants to see a dominant performance or something. Cesaro won again. Now, granted, he won with the referee didn't see a Sheamus pin because he was bumped and all that, and that played into later. But So I guess it left open a door for a third match, which would probably be at SummerSlam. But at least with Cesaro and Sheamus, there wasn't no 50-50 booking going on. Which, sometimes that can work, mind you. Sometimes that can work, but most of the time it doesn't. But it can if you do it right. It can if you do it right. But the WWE doesn't know how to do 50-50 booking right. It can if you're trying to do a title feud and you don't want the champion to lose to lose right away, so you do a thing that you might do a 50-50 booking where they win once and then in a rematch they like do a coward thing or something and then they eventually lose. Then 50-50 booking in a case like that could possibly work, but it doesn't work most of the time, but it can if done right. Darren Young and Titus O'Neil didn't even get an entrance. They were already in the ring for their match, and again they're having a match here again for reasons. And Darren wins by grabbing Titus's tights. So I guess maybe this is another SummerSlam match. I guess. And so that really brings me now to the main event segments. Well, no, there was also the Rusev and Lana wedding thing, which was really where this show got boring. This show got boring right here because you had Rusev and Lana reenacting their marriage. And one, this sounds like a face move anyway. I don't really see what's the point of a heel doing this, because it sounds more like something faces would do. But essentially, Roman Reigns came out and he challenged Rusev for the U.S. title. Sometimes which Rusev said, I have to say no to that. And eventually, Lana ends up in a cake and all this, and Mick Foley eventually makes Roman Reigns versus Rusev for the United States title at SummerSlam. The main event segment of this show, before I get to that, Brock Lesnar will be on Raw next week, which is the go-home show of SummerSlam. So I'm expecting Raw and SmackDown to be a tad bit better than they were. Not that SmackDown was bad, because I don't think it was really bad. I mean, it was better than Raw, but it still had its problems. But I'll get to that in the review of it tomorrow. So I expect, because we're doing 2 go-home shows, that hopefully the WWE can put together 5 really good hours of programming next week. Before I talk about the main event, the Anderson and Gallows Doctors segment. I did find this kind of funny, but I'm thinking, why are you taking this really serious group, this really serious team, and giving them a comedy segment where they talk about Big E's testicle area and ring postitis? And then Luke Gallows wins in a very quick match. I don't know why Carl Anderson didn't get that nod, but whatever. And on top of that, technically the club doesn't even have a reason to be having this tag title match at SummerSlam anyway, but let's just go with it. So the main event segment, or segments, started with Mick Foley inviting Daniel Bryan into the ring, and at first they're cordial with each other, until Mick Foley mentioned Daniel Bryan started making fun of Raw and their Universal title when he made that joke about the Milky Way or the galaxy or all that stuff, which I actually thought was a very funny line, to be quite honest. I actually thought it was a funny line. I don't think it was a dig at Raw. I think it was trying to be funny. Daniel Bryan had no purpose here. This didn't go anywhere other than to set up possibly Cesaro being traded to SmackDown, or somehow going to SmackDown, because Rusev and Cesaro came out, and Daniel Bryan said he thinks Cesaro's been underutilized on Raw. Cesaro was out there demanding a U.S. title match. Rusev was out there basically threatening to beat up Daniel Bryan, and all this. So Mick Foley made Cesaro versus Rusev at 10:55 Eastern, so I'm like, either A, they're going to go over longer than usual, or this match ain't going to be long. This was a surprisingly good match, though, Rusev and Cesaro, and I'm glad that U.S. title main evented Raw. I'm glad that the U.S. title main evented Raw. I'm glad about that. But Sheamus ended up costing Cesaro the match, so I guess we're going to have Cesaro and Sheamus at SummerSlam, and then Roman Reigns speared Rusev. That's not how Raw ended, but before I end the review, I will talk about the Finn Balor segment. The Finn Balor promo segment was basically to talk about the mythology around his name and all that. Which is smart. I like this idea. I like that. Yes, a live mic is not what Finn Balor is good at, but he can be good at this. And you do need to introduce Finn Balor to the main WWE audience, because casual fans don't watch NXT. I'm not a casual fan. I don't always watch NXT because, quite frankly, I'm too busy to watch it at times. But I do watch it when I can on. I just don't watch it live, but I do watch it. It may take. I might get behind a few weeks, but I do eventually watch NXT enough to know what's going on down there. I will be watching Takeover Back to Brooklyn though, so don't worry about that. I'll probably be reviewing that right around my SummerSlam review, so that'll probably be, I'll do both of those Monday. I might tie them in together, I don't know. I might tie both of those in next Monday, the day after SummerSlam. I'm not sure yet. But, there's that. So I really like this. Yeah, this Raw was not, I'm not going to say it was a bad show, it was just a boring show. A boring show, is what this was. It was boring. I felt that it lagged, and at 3 hours it didn't make it feel like that. And given what the WWE did with the first Raw after the draft, which I knew they would do, sometimes blowing your load is not the best way to go. And that's what they did on the first Raw after the draft. And tomorrow I'll tell you if I think SmackDown or Raw is better this week when I get my SmackDown review. So that was my Raw review for August the 8th, 2016. If you like this video, like button down there, subscribe button down there, and thank you for watching. Bye.